Man, some people get so petty. Well, she didn't copy me in. She should have copied me in. Watch this. I'm going to get her back. Watch this. You guys know any petty people? Raise your hand and say yes. Man, come on, man. Don't be petty. You got too much you working on. You can act a fool if you want to. I ain't playing ball with you. Why? Because my mama taught me to be likable. I'm going to get along with you no matter what. You can act a fool if you want to. But I'm not playing ball with you. I'm a part of a legacy. And I want to be so good that I can get my kids some jobs. I want people to say, man, Walter, if your kids are anything like you, I'll hire them in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, they have. What is your legacy? And my daddy would say, go get it, son, go get it. So all my life, I've always pursued excellence. And we're going to talk about your core values in a moment, but I want you to understand that you're a representation of your family, and every day you come to work, you're a representation of Redwood Credit Union, and all you got to do is represent. But here's where my life got tricky. My mom and dad were teachers, and I was straight A in baseball, straight A in basketball, straight A in football. I was named after my uncle who played Major League Baseball. I set a playoff record in Chicago public schools. I struck out 17 batters in a 21-out game. You only played 7 innings, and in a playoff game, I struck out 17. I got so cocky, I was like, fastball, chump. You can't hit what you can't see. Fastball. When I walk the streets of San Francisco, people look at me twice. I'm not Barry Bonds, man. I am not Barry Bonds. Y'all think all black guys look alike, don't you? I was straight A in football. I would come back to the huddle, tell my quarterback, if I touch it, I'll catch it. Throw it anywhere near me. If I touch it, I'll catch it. I believe confidence is arrogance under control. Give your teammate permission to be confident, but don't you dare be arrogant, because arrogant people stop growing, arrogant people stop developing, because arrogant people think they have arrived. Be confident, Miss Thang. My man, be confident, but don't ever cross that line into arrogance. When I played basketball, the parents would yell out, he's too old, check his birth certificate. That kid is not 12. But in my family, report card day was a big day. And I'm the baby. My sister would slide her grades across the table. Great job, Jamel. Great job, Jamel. My brother would slide his grades across the table. Great job, Lewis. Great job, Lewis. I had a little bit of a reputation. Okay, Walter, let us take a look. This one semester, I flunked Spanish. And I'm looking at my report card. I was like, oh, shoot. And I slid my grades across the table. And that bottom lip started to twitch. And my mother looked at me. She said, baby, are they that bad? My mother picked up my grades, and then she started crying. And she made a statement to me that was transformational. She said, baby, if the teacher gives out A's, you know you can get one. It was a simple statement, but it was transformational, because honestly, when my mother said it to me, I realized I had never even strove for an A. My whole mindset was, man, if I get a C, I'm good. Chemistry, oh, I'll pull out a C, I'm good. Trigonometry. Man, if I get a C, I'm good. That's why I teach my leaders, you better check on your people's mindset. Because the largest demographic at every high school in the country is a C student. The funny thing about a C student, we have programs for the A honor roll kids. Am I right or wrong? National Honor Society, student government. We keep the A students occupied. And I hate those mamas that have those bumper stickers on their car. My child's on the A honor roll. Man, I should be a hater. I used to be a hater. How you know? School ain't even over yet. How do you know? The semester just started. That mama has so much confidence, they put a bumper sticker on that car that don't come off. Man, I was a hater. I was straight A in baseball, basketball, and football, because that's where I set my mindset. But in school, I set my whole mindset on a C. The largest demographic at every high school is a C student. In fact, they have programs for the knuckleheads. You guys remember that? Detention. Right? The principal's office. Truancy officers. Some high schools now have policemen on duty. Does that make sense? But there's absolutely nothing for the C student. I'm going to say it again. There is absolutely nothing for the C student. So smart companies are training and development organizations at their core. Smart companies are training and development organizations at their core. Smart companies who win and win big are training and development organizations at their core. My mom and dad had a parent-teacher conference at the kitchen table. When your parents are teachers, they don't have to go to school to have a parent-teacher conference. My daddy was a high school principal in the hood on the west side of Chicago. He said to my mama, "Give him to me, baby. Give him to me." And my mama was like, "Really? You got real thugs at your high school?" And that's my baby. Give him to me, baby. Give him to me. Now my father becomes my high school principal. And every day on the way to school was a coaching session. My father realized that he didn't need more out of his son needed more out of him. Great leaders, you have it backwards. You think you need more out of your people, but your people need more out of you. In fact, when I was flunking out my first high school, you know what they would tell me? If you don't get your act together, you're going to be somewhere flipping. You know what McDonald's said? Give them to me. Isn't that amazing? The most powerful franchise in the world is built off C students. McDonald's is a training and development organization masquerading as a burger franchise. In 1951, Ray Kroc says, if I'm going to win big with people. I'm going to hire the right people, and I'm going to develop the right people. Smart organizations recruit right, they develop right, and they retain right. But I find it fascinating that the largest demographic at every high school in America is a C student, and there's nothing available for the C student. We cater to the A student. We give the knuckleheads attention, but there was nothing there for me. I'm so thankful that my dad was a high school principal, and I'm so thankful that my mother was a teacher. Every day on the way to school, my high school principal worked on my mindset. You're just as smart as your brother and sister. Your value system is screwed up. This family produces student athletes. You are just as smart as your brother and sister. Your value system is screwed up. This family produces student athletes. You are just as smart as your brother and sister. But your value system is screwed up. This family produces student athletes. Please write this down. Companies with the coaching culture are 21% more productive. Companies with the coaching culture are 21% more productive. Companies with the coaching culture are 21% more productive. Smart companies are training and development organizations at their core. Smart families are training and development organizations at their core. Mom, you might have a C student at home right now. Daddy, you might have a C student at home right now. I'm here to tell you that you are running a training and development organization. Because C students can go either way. C students have characteristics of the A students, but they have characteristics of the knucklehead. They're very inconsistent, and that's why we call them average. For 2 years, my high school principal worked on my mindset. You are just as smart as your brother and sister. Your value system is screwed up. This family produces student athletes. You are just as smart as your brother and sister. Your value system is screwed up. This family produces student athletes. Right, your life goes down, son, and look at them every single day. Right, your life goes down, son, and look at them every single day. I began to think about it. That other high school that I flunked out of, I never even talked to the high school principal. Never even had a conversation. He was willing to allow me to fail and didn't even try. I heard my daddy tell my mama, give him to me. Before I knew it, a 2.1 turned into a 2.9. Before I knew it, I brought the right syllabus home. I brought the books home. Before I knew it, I got my homework in on time. The teacher would ask questions in class. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, I know the answer. I know the answer. Pick me, I know the answer. Pick me, 3X. Correct, Walter. The other kids didn't know my story. They just saw me as a principal's son. And they would say, oh, you're smart. You should be. You're the principal's son. They didn't know my story. They didn't know my background. They didn't know my past. Look to your neighbor right now and say, you don't know me. Tell them, you don't know me. Trust me. You don't know me for real, for real. You don't really know. You think you know me. But you don't really know me. Because if we knew everyone's background, we would be less judgmental. You guys agree? If you really knew each other's story, we'd be less judgmental. Am I right or wrong? If you really knew where each of us came from, we'd have a lot more love and a lot more compassion. When I flunked out my first high school, I left all my friends and I was embarrassed. What happened to Walt? Oh, he flunked out. Why did Walter transfer? Oh, man, he flunked out. I went to a top academic high school. Michelle Obama went to this high school. Jesse Jackson kids went to this high school. These were the smartest kids in Chicago. When I flunked out, I was ashamed. When I flunked out, I was embarrassed. And all of a sudden, I realized in my family, which was my very first team, I was a weak link. Great job, Jamel. Great job, Lewis. Walter. If the teacher gives out A's, you know you can get one. Redwood, this is your work family. Don't be a weak link. Redwood, when you get home, I want you to understand, your family at home should win. Why? Because you're on the team. One thing I loved about playing in the NBA, I was around superstars, and they knew, we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. Michael Jordan knew, we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. Tom Brady knew, we're going to win. Why? Because I'm on the team. You look to your neighbor right now and say, we're going to win. Because I'm on the team. Finish that statement with some confidence. Look at him and say, we're going to win because I'm on the team. Look to your other neighbor and say, we're going to win because I'm on the team. Impact players know, hey, when I show up, great athletes know, hey, we're going to win simply because I'm on the team. I graduated high school with a 2.9 GPA. I wanted a 3.0 so bad. My senior year, I went to my academic counselor. And I said, Mr. Johnson, I have a 2.9. My brother and sisters all do 3.0 and above. What do I need to do to get a 3.0? My high school principal convinced me I was just as smart as my brother and sister. What do I need to do to get a 3.0? She says, Walter, I was afraid you would ask me that. I ran the numbers. And even if you got all A's the rest of the time you were here, you're doing great now. But you were in such a hole. The best that you can do is a 2.9. Can I be honest with you? That was the first time in my life I was pissed off about school. That's the first time in my life I was pissed off about my grades. That was the first time in my life I was pissed off at me. I would be pissed off if I missed a layup. I'd be pissed off if I dropped a pass. I'd be pissed off if I missed a free throw. But the first time in my life, I was pissed off about school. And I also understood I was in control. My high school principal completely changed my mindset. I got to the University of Minnesota. I said to myself, I got my academics together. I'll go right to the NBA a couple years. My daddy got me on track. I'm good. But something happened, adversity. My freshman year, I don't play a lick. I found myself sitting on the bench. And before I knew it, I started going to every party with my red Solo cup. And all of a sudden, I stopped going to class. At the end of my freshman year, my high school principal called me on the phone. When I was in high school, I told my high school principal, I'm going to graduate in 4 years, I'm going to play in the NBA, and I'm going to make more money in business than I did in sports. Every day in that car on my way to my high school principal made me look at my life goals. Look at those goals every single day, son. Look at those goals every single day. It will set your mindset. Take those goals out and look at them every single day, son. My high school principal called me on the phone at the end of my freshman year. And he asked me a question. You didn't play, son. What happened? I gave him a good old C student answer. Politics, Dad. It's political. Can I ask you a question? How does your coach get paid? Well, I guess he gets paid to win. He says, okay, son, if your coach gets paid to win, won't he play the players to give him the best chance to win? Dad, I got a question for you. Is Mom home? He said, son, you told me you're going to graduate in 4 years. You told me you're going to play in the NBA. And you told me you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. Go do exactly what you said you're going to do the day you got hired by Redwood. Go do exactly what you said you're going to do the day you walked down that aisle in a pretty white dress. You guys remember that day? You walked down that aisle in a pretty white dress and you wrote your own vows. You were so handsome in your tuxedo. And you promised that father-in-law, I'm going to take care of your daughter, man. I'm going to take care. To death do us part. Because I'm about to kill this woman right now. She getting on my... Are you doing everything you said you're going to do the day you brought that baby home from the hospital? Are you doing everything you said you're going to do the day you got hired by Redwood, the day you said I do? Are you doing everything? My high school principal reminded me of what I said I was going to do. He said, son, you told me you're going to graduate in 4 years. You told me you're going to play in the NBA. And you told me you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. And by the way, son, how's school? Gotta go, Dad. Take out your goal sheet. And just look at it every single day like I taught you. I hung up the phone. I scrambled around my dorm room because I brought that goal sheet with me. And my dorm room was messy. My mother would have been ashamed. But I found it. And I taped it on my mirror. And with tears in my eyes, I remember when I had a 2.1. I remember when I was embarrassed flunking out of my first high school. And I thought to myself, here I am again, going through this again. Here I am again, sabotaging me again. Only this time is worse. Sports is not even working out for me. But I was taught to write your vision plain up on tablets so it can be seen by men. And that man is you. Write your vision plain up on tablets so it can be seen by women. And that woman is you. Right there in my dorm room. Just like I was 16 years old. Just like my high school principal taught me. Take out your goal sheet, son. And just look at them every single day. I'm going to graduate college in 4 years. I hadn't been to class in a month. I'm going to play in the NBA. My freshman year was a waste. I didn't play at all. And I'm going to make more money in business than I did in sports. The next morning I woke up. I'm going to graduate college in 4 years. I'm going to play in the NBA. And I'm going to make more money in business than I did in sports. The next morning I woke up. I'm going to graduate college in 4 years. I'm going to play in the NBA, and I'm going to make more money in business than I did in sports. And just like in high school, I got my visions written on tablets, planes, and I could see them. And every single day I got more confident. Every single day I got more convicted. Every single day I got committed to my best life. I went back into my coach's office. It was just like I was talking to my high school principal. And I asked him a question. Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? He laughed. He said, son, you don't play for me. I said, Coach, I'm going to become somebody different. What do I need to do, Coach? I'll do it. What do I need to do? It's my dream. It's my life. If you coach me, I'll do it. He said, son, you can't run, you can't jump, you can't dribble, you can't shoot, and you can't rebound, son. I know I got weaknesses, man. I know. But next year, I'm going to be your most improved employee. Next year, I'm going to be the most improved player at the Redwood Credit Union. Next year, I'm going to be the most improved teller. Next year, I'm going to be the most improved loan officer. Next year, I'm going to be the most improved branch manager. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. He said, son, you got to work in your off season. Grab an assistant coach and get to work. My off season, I attacked my off season. I came back the next year. We went all the way to the Sweet 16. And for you college basketball fans, Dick Vitale loved me. Walter Burns a PT peer. He's a PT peer. He's the top 6 man in the country. No one in America is better than him coming off the bench. I was an impact player coming off the bench. I was a 6 man. We're known as a catalyst. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. I don't care. Put me in the game, coach. Just put me in the game. I turned 2 minutes into 5 minutes, 5 minutes into 10 minutes, 10 minutes into 20 minutes. And I carved out a niche. And I became the top 6 man in the country. I was a leader on the team coming off the bench. I went right back to my coach's office. And I asked that same question again. What do I need to do to play in the NBA? He didn't laugh this time. He knew I meant business. I'm not going to sabotage me anymore. Coach, if you're giving out A's, I'm going to get one. And if you bring me off the bench, I'm going to be the top 6 man in America. If you make me a teller, I'll be the top teller in America. You make me a manager, I'll be the number 1 manager in America. You make me a loan officer, I promise you, you promote me, I'll take full advantage. I'll be the best in the world at whatever role you give me. Because this family that I'm from produces student athletes. Son, just keep doing what you're doing. My junior year rolled around. I'm top 6 man in the country again. We go all the way to the Elite 8. 1 shot away from the Final 4. I was so good coming off the bench. I was a preseason all Big Ten selection. All I had to do was have 1 good year, and I walked right into the NBA first-round draft pick, even though I never started in college. My senior year, I got in the best shape of my life. First game of the senior year, my foot was sore. I worked out hard. I was jogging around campus. Nobody told me running on concrete was not good for your feet. I went to the trainer and said, Roger, I'm in great shape, but my foot is sore. Here, take some Feldine. Here's some painkillers, man. It's your year, son. You're finally going to be in the starting lineup, man. We need you, man. You're like the star of the team, man. We need you. I know. But my foot is sore. You ever had a great opportunity, but just something was wrong? You ever had a great opportunity and just something wasn't right? I didn't realize I had a stress fracture in my foot. I tried to fight through the pain. In the first game of my senior year, I had a clean break of that bone. And I was devastated. Why me, Lord? Why me? They said, hey, man, we can get you back for the Big Ten. We can get you back in 6 weeks. You'll be ready for the Big Ten. Man, we can get you back in 6 weeks, man. Doc can put a screw in my foot. We can get you back in 6 weeks, okay? Okay, I got myself back on that horse. You know how sometimes you've been devastated and you pick yourself back up? If you can look up, you can get up. You guys know what I'm talking about? You've been devastated. You got blindsided. You didn't see tragedy coming. You didn't see it coming. You didn't know mama was sick. You didn't know daddy was sick. Trauma hit you. Your child is struggling. It hit you out the blue like a sucker punch. Somehow you got back on your feet. I came back in 6 weeks in better shape. We played Ohio State on national TV. They had a kid named Jimmy Jackson. I had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I'm on my way to a triple-double. Dick Vitale's having a seizure on the sideline. Want the best of PT peer? He's a PT peer. It's a coming out party. He's a PT peer. As I pulled up for my patented baseline jump shot, as I squared up, I felt my foot break again. But I've been trained to follow through. I've been trained to follow through. I've been trained on leadership. I've been trained on communication. I've been trained on sales. I've been trained to follow through. And even though my foot broke, my last shot as a college athlete went in all nets, and I crashed to the ground. And right there in Columbus, Ohio, cried like a baby. That was it. All I had to do was have one good year. And the first time in my life, I was ready. But my body didn't cooperate with me. When my career ended, I averaged 7 points a game in college. My resume said, go get a job, dude. But I got offered a job as a hospital administrator because one of our season ticket holders liked me. Right before I took the job, my daddy called me on the phone. And so did my high school principal. How did surgery go, son? Dad, I'm good. The doctor said I'll never break this foot again. So, son, what's next? Dad, I'm going to be a hospital administrator. 2-year program, $75,000 job. Can I ask you a question, son? Sure, Dad. Do you think you're good enough to play in the NBA? Come on. Dad, we ain't that family, Dad. Dad, we're educated, Dad. We're not that black family that just needs basketball. We're educated, Dad. Hey, son, you told me that you're going to graduate in 4 years. And you did it. I'm proud of you. But you told me you're going to play in the NBA. And you told me you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. Son, do you know why I had you look at your goal sheet every day? Because adversity happens. You know why I had you look at your goal sheet every day? Because setbacks happen. You told me you're going to graduate in 4 years, son, and you did it. But we're not done. You told me you're going to play in NBA. And you told me that you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. I got one question for you, son. Do you think you're good enough to be an NBA ball player? I almost had a 3.0. Almost. I don't want to be known as an almost guy. I don't want to be known as a barely missing guy. And I thought about that pain I felt when I almost had that 3.0. And I was very thoughtful about my answer. You know what, Dad? I do. I do believe I'm good enough to play in NBA. I do believe I'm good enough to be a manager. I do believe I'm good enough to be a loan officer. I do believe I'm good enough to be a regional leader. And matter of fact, Brad, if you slip up, man,